Good morning, and thank you for joining me in one more episode of Ancestral Healing with Alida. And today I'm going to talk about how our body talks about the loyalties and the problems or issues in our family system. And I'm going to start telling you that there are three ways that you can understand how you are sitting at this moment, for example, or when you are talking, how you take this position, or when someone is talking, you go like this, or with different things. When your wife is telling you something, how you start having pain here. So there are different positions, physical positions that we adapt different body shapes or the body is gonna talk, right? Basically. So the first thing is the loyalty, the unconscious loyalty. So for example, if there is a grandmother that couldn't nurse because she had trauma, or because she didn't want to be a mother because she was sexual abused and she had a child that is my mother now, I don't think that she will want to nurse that baby in the beginning. So imagine that I'm connecting to that story. So I have a hidden loyalty toward that story. So probably my nipples are going to go inward. And I'm not telling you that it's a symptom. For example, if I have a headache one day, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like the different physical sensations or the different physical postures or gestures that are chronic in you. Chronic, what I say is like they are happening in an extended period of time. So that's the first one will be the unconscious loyalty. That the next one is going to be when I unconscious mimic someone else. Have you ever heard that, for example, they say, oh, your son is walking exactly like his grandfather? He's mimicking someone, right? He's like, I'm gonna do it the same that you are doing it, the same that you are doing it, because I'm gonna help you that way. And the other one is to avoid pain. When there is a traumatic event, the balance is when there's no pain, right? In my life. When there is pain, I need to create a method of defense, a method that I don't experience that pain anymore. So I create different postures that I'm gonna avoid for me to get triggered about the same episode again and again. There is a person that she said that when she was little, her house got into fire. Like there was fire in her house. But that happened, I think, that when she was 6 or 7. And up until now, that she's almost my age, or she's a little bit older, she's 45, 46. Every time that she even light up a candle, she has the same trigger. It causes her the same posture because she is still afraid of fire, right? But that happened when she was 7. But she's trying to avoid the pain. She's trying to avoid the trigger of that situation that happened to her when she was 7 years old, even though she's now 45 years old. The other way that you can see how a person has created a shield connected to pain is about the face, right? If someone is like always like frowning, or if someone has the eyes open all the time, or if someone has tics, well, the tics are something different. The tics are emotions, right? That's what you call emotional tics. The tics are more about emotions and not more about the trauma, right? So we are gonna where I want to say something else. The way that you stand up when you are talking in public, or you are talking to your friends, is the way that you see the world. And I'm going to tell you this because what about if, look at me. If I see the world like this, or if I see the world like this, or if I see the world like this, do you see? It's different, right? If I go like this, I don't want them to see me. Actually, I don't want them to see me. I don't want to even be here. And I might even be afraid. If I go like this and this is coming out, is the first thing that you see, it's because I'm reactive. I'm like ready to fight, ready to defend myself, right? And you have to imagine this. You will pay attention because you will think that you have like a stick that goes through the top of your head, goes all the way in the center of your body, all the way down. So if you are aligned to that in the center, that's the perfect posture, right? But if you go out of that stick that I'm telling you, that center, it's because there is your body's telling you something else. The other one is like when, let's say, if I'm talking to you, look at me. If I'm talking to you and and you do this, that means that you are listening to me. You want to know more. You are very interested of what I'm saying. You trust me. You are paying attention to me. What about if I'm talking to you and you go like this? You don't want to listen to what I'm saying. Probably you are not even listening to me and you don't trust what I'm saying. In fact, you are getting triggered by what I'm saying. You don't like it. You don't like it. And for me, it's very important to know this because I do a lot of consultations and I need to listen to the story of the person. And if I start going, I usually go like this. But if I one day will be doing this, I need to understand that me as a family constellation facilitator, I'm not in my center. I am getting triggered by something that happened to me that that person is telling me. So if I go like this, right? So we're going to start talking now about the sides of your body. This side is the right side and this side is the left side. The right side is usually connected to the masculine, connected to your goals, connected to your peers, your partner, your siblings, your cousins, and your children. And this one is connected to the mother, right? To the mother, to the feminine, to the past lives, to hidden loyalties sometimes. And so now we are going to talk about your hand. Your If someone comes to me and starts telling me the story, right? But I have to see what the person is telling me. So if you usually, when you talk, you start using your hand, like, I remember when my grandmother used to tell me, and my husband told me this and we got divorced, right? This right hand is showing you where you want to go in life. So if the person is all the time going like this, when the person is talking with the right hand, well, the person wants to move towards the present, wants to move to the future, possibly is blaming a masculine, depends of the story, right? But it's also connected to my aspirations, what I want to do next, right? Where am I going to go next? If it's the left side that is moving and it's the left side that maybe they are fidgeting with the left side, is because I'm stuck in time. So if you're fidgeting along with the left side or with your fingers, each finger has a meaning, but we're gonna do this with the hand. It's because I'm stuck in time with something that happened that basically your soul got like this. Well, stuck in the past. I got stuck like this and I cannot see my present because I'm still paying attention to that situation. Your arms. So I have this hat. And if you have a hat, if you have a pillow, if you have a stuffed animal, you can do it too with me. So I have this, and I'm going to show you how I hug my husband. So I'm going to close my eyes. So I'm reliving the way that I hug my husband. So I take my husband usually to the right side. And that's a mistake when you are in a part with the partner. It's a mistake because the person who needs to go to your right side are your peers, right? Your siblings, your kids. But I have to go, he needs to come to my left side because we have been having probably a life together or an experience together, right? This side is for my child, the right side when we hug, and the left side is going to be for my husband when I want to hug my husband, only to hug him, to create balance. But when we sleep in the bed, he needs to be towards my right side. So when I face to the right side, I can see him. When I take a picture, I always try to put him to the right side. When we are walking, he's usually towards my right side because that's the masculine. But when we are doing the hugging, my husband should come to my left side. The other one is this. My child, when I hug my child, she needs to come towards my right side because I'm the mother, right? If I'm doing it the opposite way, I'm putting her in a position that is not hers. And the same with your brothers and sisters, right? To the right side. And your parents and the other one's gonna go to the left side. Your arms on this side, on the right side, are gonna represent your partner, the person that you work with, your siblings, everything that are your peers, the arms. And these arms are gonna represent the mothers of the system. Mothers of the system is not only your mother, it's the mother of your mother, but also the mother of your father, right? The mothers of the system. This shoulder, if I have pain on this shoulder, or if it's always up, right? Like this, Do you see? This maybe is a little, no, I think that they are okay. But I used to have pain on this one. I used to have it like this. If I have pain on this side, on the right shoulder, is a loyalty to the masculine side of my family system. If I have pain on my left shoulder, is usually a loyalty to the women's of my family. Your legs are always going to represent father. Your legs. Legs includes from your ankles up to your hips. So your legs allows you to move, to find direction. Where am I going to go, right? It's the most the what it gives you stability are your ankles, but the legs organize how fast you go, how slow you go, depends, right? And also your legs will represent what I call blind love. And the blind love is what a little child has when a baby is born. All the babies need or want to be loved by their parents, and they will do anything to get that love. So when I'm still seeking for that love, my legs might have problems. And also, the legs are going to tell you that in your present life, you might have some issues that are still pending, that are you haven't paid attention to something that is very important for you to do in the evolution of your soul. I have a niece, and she knew who was her real father, I think, when she was 21 or 20 years old. And after that, she knew who was her real father. She couldn't walk, and she got different diagnoses, like from lupus to Guillain-Barré, or different things like arthrosis and that stuff. I took her in 2021, I think, or 2020, 2021, to Peru, to Arlochin, to do ayahuasca, one ceremony. And guess what? The next day she was walking, not running, but walking. And it was because there was this conflict within her between the lack of father of my father, but she didn't connect it, that the mother didn't give her that that bridge. The mother didn't develop that bridge between the daughter and the father, because there were a lot of circumstances, right? And so she was creating a symptom towards her father without understanding it. So the first question will be, if you're driving, you can do this later. If you're not driving, take a little bit of time. If you're sitting, I want you to stand up if you can. And if you cannot stand up, you can stand up and sit that down again, okay? To reset for this dynamic. And I want you to don't close your eyes, but I want you to inhale and exhale. And I'm going to ask you the first question. What is it that I'm expressing with my body? What is it that I'm expressing with my body? And you can see how I'm start moving towards the left, and this got close a little bit on me, okay? So for you, start feeling the sensations in your body, your temperature, if you feel that you are swaying, if you are standing up, if you feel that if you are sitting, if you feel that you are moving in a specific way. So find the movement of your body that tells you what you are expressing. I'm very connected, and I knew it to my maternal lineage, to the mothers of my system, not to my maternal lineage. I am very connected to the mothers of my system. And pay attention to those sensations. The other question is inhale and exhale. What is my body not talking about? What is that something that my body cannot talk about? And again, I am leaning towards the left side. And actually, I feel this tingling sensation on my head. And I'm looking towards the upper side, right? Because I'm remembering something. I'm connecting with something, right? Now inhale and exhale. And the next question will be, what am I grieving with my body? What am I grieving with my physical sensations? What am I grieving with my physical posture? And do you see my body is doing circles? So for me, this morning, it's so strong in my body that causes my body to start moving in circles to find a place to release. Because when you start fidgeting, when you start moving like this, is that you are releasing something that for you is so hard for you to see or to experience, right? For my system, for me, it's so hard that I start going like this because I cannot find the place, right? I need to be stable. It brings me stability, but also it's because in this circle movement, try to find, like searching, like here, 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 here. So there must be a lot of information in my system connected to that morning. Let's talk about more about these shoulders. So whatever happened on your shoulders, you put weight on your shoulders, correct? So if my shoulder is up, this one, the right one, I'm putting some masculine weight. If I put this one, it's a feminine, correct? And no one put that weight on me. I created that weight on me, except if my parents 9 months before my conception, prior to my conception, or up until I was 3 years old, they created things that they wanted from me, right? That could be put it on my shoulders as well. But when I have this, when I put my shoulders up, immediately my arms are gonna get shorter, right? This is gonna get shorter, right? And when my arms get shorter, is the energy of my father. I lack the energy of my father because with my arms, I grab things, I make projects, I go here and I do it, here and I do it, right? I lack the energy of my father. And because he gives me the strength to go out and do things, to have the creation and then put it into place, to build the Lego, basically. And that also means that if I'm going like this, is that usually my mother didn't give me access to my father, that I'm still trying to live in the world of my mother. And the world of the mother is nurturing, but it's very close, right? The mother needs to give that pass to the child because we don't own our kids. The mother needs to give that pass to the child to go out in society. Give me a second. So that's another thing. So that's about your shoulders. And what I'm trying to explain to you, these are again physical gestures or positions that you do constantly, right? I'm gonna let me tell you something else. For example, I was talking yesterday about the people who got adopted. The people who got adopted, they have two family systems, the biological family system and the adoptive family system. And usually the adoptive family system reject or don't talk about the biological family system because they were bad people, they left you alone, etc., etc. And that's very detrimental for the adopted child because the adopted child will need to compensate that, or is going to be compensated by the adopted child itself for one of her kids, if he has kids or she has kids, or for one partner of the adopted couple. So that's very interesting to see because the soul movement will be that the adopted family say thank you to the biological parents, and the biological parents say thank you to the adopted parents for taking care of the child. And that lessen a lot of the way that adopted child could get. And the adopted child is going to get the postures and the body symptoms, let's say, from both systems, right? And the way that I'm telling you that they can say thank you is I'm telling you in a session, right? They can say it by themselves, but if they cannot see each other or they don't know each other, they can even do it in a family constellation session. They can, definitely they can, because I have done. The ankles are the base of your structure. Without your ankles, your legs don't have stability, neither your feet. So, but the ankles also tell you how is you've been developing in your spiritual level, right? And how is the mental support that you have. So, if your ankles are always breaking or open or something like this, is because do you have support? When did this happen? When did this start happening? When did I broke my ankle? All the things are going to lead you to understand why this happened, to the reason, to the root cause. And the other thing is like when your ankle is broken, is because you need to create a new structure on your thoughts, because what you thought up until now that it was real or that it was the right way to go is not. So it's too much for you. How can I believe that, I don't know, that this is not purple anymore? Now they said that it's red. My ankles are suffering now, and my ankles start moving, and I break my ankles or I twist my ankles. And when you talk about any physical sensations, you have to also pay attention that the beginning of everything, the start of everything is with the mother, correct? And the mother plays a huge role in our lives, because I can have a mother living with me, but maybe my mom is not present. And I'm going to show you how. And this is a soul movement, what I call the soul movement. So I'm going to show you here. Let's say this is 1. Wait 1 second. This is 2, and this is 3. Interesting, right? Okay. Now I'm going to start moving the head. I'm going to close my eyes, and then I'm going to stop. All right. Look at this one. This one is looking here, correct? And this is what I meant, that I didn't meant to do it this way. But this one is looking in the opposite way, correct? This one is looking to the side. Let me tell you this story because this is my family. This is my father. I'm looking straight to my father. And this is my mother. Is my mother available? Is my mother looking at me? No. Is my father looking at me? No. I'm in the back. I should be in the front, and my parents in the back supporting my back, supporting me, so I can lean backwards, and I know that my parents are going to hold my back. So this is a situation when the mother is not looking at the child. It's not that the mother is, my mother was present 24/7 in my house, but her soul wasn't. She got stuck maybe in this invisible loyalty with someone in that moment of pain or trauma in the system, and she's still looking at this. I'm gonna go a little bit further and let's see what is she looking at. Okay, oh, wow, look at this. She's looking to this woman with 2 babies. She's a pregnant woman. And guess what? I'm connecting also, of course, to this story too. So this is the information that we have, correct? My mom is looking to this woman who got pregnant. I represent someone that is pregnant. So the pregnancy of my mother, or my own pregnancy, or the pregnancies of someone in the system is causing my symptoms, because that's what I represent. I represent my symptoms. This is me, but these are my symptoms. My symptoms look at my father, but it's very connected to motherhood, correct? So for me, what am I going to say? First, that I need to see my mother, but my mother needs to see me. My mother is still looking to this person. So my mother can tell me a few healing statements, say a few healing statements to this mother here, and say like, I see you, you did the best that you could, you still nourish me, right? If this is her mother. And I can say the same, Mom, it was enough. You were a good mother, and I'm going to be a good mother too. I can say to my father, I see you, but I'm only your daughter because I need to be here. I cannot be like paying attention to them. So this is the way that you can do a family constellations. So these are my symptoms. And actually, I've been estrogen dominant for a long time. And I had a myoma on my uterus. And actually, when I got pregnant, the doctor told me that I wouldn't be able to have a home birth because I had a myoma, which I didn't, which is that's not true. But I also had a breast papilloma, that is that in the duct you get like little like warts type things, like that's also estrogen, and my skin is dry and all the things, right? And I don't know if I ever told you this, but I had a lot of overproduction of milk. Like I wanted to give her as much as I can to my daughter, because someone in the system, first, my mom didn't give it to me because she wasn't available. She's not even looking at me. Second, because she's still looking to that mother because she felt the same way. That's what my mother is still looking to her mother. It's like a little girl still looking to her mother. And I did a constellation with my mom in November when she came to visit. And when I said, like, what do you think that your mother could have done different? My mom told me she could have been more cuddling with me, more loving. And I said, like, and what about your dad? And she said, like, oh, my dad didn't do anything wrong. He was like my mother to me. Do you see? So she lack of her mother, and I lack of my mother too. And I wanted to make sure that my daughter didn't unconsciously, right? So I overproduct. I was nursing 24 hours up until my daughter was 3 years and 6 months. And I was still pumping and giving 40 ounces a week to a children's hospital in Peru. Do you mind how much milk I had? Crazy. I was a cow. So I'm going to do this later for me. But I wanted to show you. So your symptoms are going to tell you what are the loyalties, what are you mimicking, who are you mimicking in the family, where was the pain that caused the trauma, and when did you get stuck in life, because the posture that you're going to have is creating a shield for you to don't experience that pain anymore if it's connected to that pain. And there is something that is important also to say, is like during the time in your life you will change some postures, right? Usually when you are become a youth and adolescent, like around 13, 14 years old, your body starts changing, and probably you will change some physical postures. So it's good that you pay attention what happened there, because most of parents are like, oh my God, I have a teenager and they are terrible. But no, when you say my teenager is terrible, it's because you cannot be a parent that is parented from my adult. My soul doesn't see my child from my adult. My soul is looking at you as I'm a child. That's for another episode. So that's what I wanted to tell you today. Pay attention to your postures. Pay attention how you sit. Pay attention when you are talking to your husband. How is your body moving? Because it's gonna. When I'm talking to my mother, how it's moving. When I think about my ex, what happens to my body? All those details are gonna tell you what to do. And I have currently 30% off on all my sessions using the coupon code birthday. You can go to my website, iamama.org. I have my candles, my intentional candles, letting go, new beginnings, inner child healing, and ancestors, help and reparation, non-toxic organic soy wax. And please follow me if you can on Instagram, I am Mama Alida, Facebook, I am Mama Alida. And if you want to give a like to this video, and if you want to share this video, I will be so happy. Thank you very much.